Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're looking at a really interesting idea, spinal tensegrity.
Yeah, spinal tensegrity. It's based on the work of Dr. Danny DeReuter.
And we've got an excerpt from his work to guide us.
Exactly. It introduces this concept, which, well, it actually borrows quite heavily from architecture.
Architecture. Okay, so what's the connection there?
It's based on a principle called tensegrity, short for tensional integrity.
Tensional integrity.
Right.
It sounds like, bridge building or something.
Pretty much. In architecture, you use things like cables under continuous tension,
Uh-huh.
and then struts or bars that resist compression, but they don't necessarily have to touch each other directly.
Okay, so they're kind of floating, held by the tension.
That's the idea. The stability comes from this balance, this interplay between pull and push. The tension defines the shape.
So how does Dr. DeReuter see this applying to, well, to our spines? It's not cables and struts in there.
Well, not literally, no. But he suggests our bodies use a similar principle. Think of muscles, tendons, ligaments.
Okay, the soft tissues.
Exactly. They act like the tension elements, the cables, providing that continuous pull.
And the vertebrae, the
They're
bones.
the compression-resisting parts, like the struts.
Ah, I see. So instead of just a stack, it's this dynamic system held together by balanced forces.
Precisely. The spine's stability and its flexibility come from this constant give and take. It's not just bone on bone.
Like that circus tent analogy you mentioned, the poles only stand because the ropes are pulling correctly.
That's a great way to put it. The tension is crucial for the whole structure's integrity.
So our muscles aren't just movers, they're constantly working, adjusting tension just to keep our spine stable.
That's a really key point from this perspective. It emphasizes the active structural role of our soft tissues, maybe more than we usually think.
Hmm, that does change things. It suggests, maybe, that muscle imbalances or tension issues could be really central to spinal problems.
It certainly points in that direction, and perhaps towards therapies focusing more on restoring that tensional balance in the soft tissues.
Yeah, it makes you think about posture differently, doesn't it? How you sit, stand, move. It's all constantly affecting that balance.
Absolutely. And, this is just based on the excerpt. Dr. DeReuter's full work likely goes much deeper into the implications.
Right, like for injuries or rehab strategies.
Could be. It opens up a lot of questions once you start thinking through this tensegrity lens.
So for you listening, the core takeaway is viewing your spine less like a rigid column.
And more like this incredibly adaptable structure, maintained by this constant, elegant balance between tension and compression.
It's a really neat example of ideas crossing between fields, isn't it? Architecture informing biology.
It really is. This look into Dr. DeReuter's spinal tensegrity concept, it just offers a very different, potentially powerful way to understand our backs.
Okay, so let's recap the main point. Spinal tensegrity. Dr. DeReuter applies this architectural idea, tensional integrity, to us.
Right. Muscles and ligaments providing the tension, vertebrae handling the compression, working
Or
together.
both stability and movement.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How might even subtle everyday shifts in that tension-compression balance affect how you feel, how you move, how you just exist in your body?
That's a great question to ponder. Definitely makes you more aware.
For sure.
And if this idea of spinal tensegrity has caught your interest, digging into Dr. DeReuter's full article seems like the way to go for more detail.
Definitely worth exploring further if you find this connection between architecture and anatomy as
Sure.
fascinating as we do.